Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Project C1 and today we're doing something kind of cool. A lot of people in the various online forums and things like that start talking about how uncomfortable the Mark 1 seats are. I get it, I do. So to that end, I've decided to install some different seats. Now a lot of people go for like Mark 2 seats, so like seats from the later generation C1, 107 and Igo, which are a direct bolt-in. And they're a great upgrade and they do work because, as you know, Liz has got a Mark II and the seats in that are very nice. I've decided to do something a little bit different. I have bought some seats from a Porsche Boxster, a Mark 1 from the early 2000s, late 90s sort of area. They have some electric control. I've got a heated seat pack to put in them, and they're going to get wired in on Deutsch connectors, and I'm going to try and use the original rails as well. So it should bolt straight in once I'm done, and there will be no welding required, so something you could do at home. So to that end, let's go and have a look, see what equipment we've got. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing then. This is the original driver's seat. It's got a cover on it, which I'm not bothered about, and for absolute pure clarity, I've already done the passenger seat. However, it's only mechanically in there. I've not actually done any of the electrical work now, so it proof of concept, so it does work. So what I'm going to do is unbolt, remove the seat, and use the existing rails to bolt to the underside of the new Porsche seat and make it fit. And as you can see, it is a pretty even match. They do fit really well, and these now have altitude control, so you can move the seat base up and down, whereas these do not. So let's go and have a look at the Porsche seat. So this is the seat that I'm going to be replacing the seats with. They are from a Mark 1 Porsche Boxster, or Boxster S, whichever you can get hold of. They are black leather. There's a couple of little bits of damage on it, but this I don't particularly care about, to be honest. The reason why I'm using it is because this is the same. It's very comfortable. It's designed for a sports car. It's leather, and because mine's a 3-door, they tilt, which I'm happy with. The idea is now, the existing hardware at the bottom, that's going to get unbolted, and we're going to replace it with the hardware from the existing C1 seat. I do need a handle here, but we've got electronic controls as well. So the forward and backward is controlled by this one, so that moves the seat forward and backward. The backrest is controlled by that, makes the backrest go backwards and forwards, and this one here is an up and down, so that makes the seat actually go up and down like that, which I know is a common complaint amongst city bug owners, that they don't do that. So what we're going to do is take off the back, take off the bottom, add some heated seat pads, run the wiring back to the back of the seat, and then down underneath the carpet in the C1, and then we'll custom make some wiring to power that. Things like the seatbelt sensor as well, they're compatible with the C1. But what I'm going to do is cut all the plugs off anyway and fit some Deutsch connectors, so it's idiot proof when it goes back together, because there's only one plug for everything then. So yeah, this doesn't have any airbags, so I will have to use some resistors, but I did get some resistors made from Ash at Jelly Snake Motorsport. So yeah, let's make a start on dismantling the seat so we can install the heated seat pads. So this is the heated seat pack that I'm using. I bought it off eBay, it was like 30 quid. And the short answer is, it comes pre-wired. I am going to look into some of these bits and pieces and maybe cut some of these wires down, but it's got the relay, it's got the connectors for the existing under seats, which we'll come to in a second. The high-low switch, it's already inline fused with a blue one, which I believe is 15. We'll come to that in a minute. But the meat and two veg of it is these, okay? These are the heated pads themselves. You can cut them this way, not this way, but they don't actually need all that much trimming, to be honest. All we need is just to cut some little slots in the middle, 3 of them for each pad, to make it fit into the actual seat. They have some sealing tape, so like a foil tape, and that protects the edges that you've cut so that they don't short. So these connectors that go into the wiring loom, into these bits, those will be cut off and we're replaced with the Deutsch connectors that are going to contain everything that we need for each seat anyway. So I'm not actually too fussed about using the connectors on the loom. So yeah, let's get those installed and then we'll talk about the wiring. The next bit we're going to do then is to remove the existing hardware. So we've got the handle, the mechanism and the slide rails that are coming off on both sides. Spring is now irrelevant as well, so what we'll remove this hardware and keep this hardware, because that's the actual up and down mechanism that makes it more useful in the C1. And then later on I'm going to cut off the original connectors, things like this that don't actually serve any purpose anymore. One of them goes up to the seatbelt mechanism just over here. And then we'll connect all that into a Deutsch plug. So yeah, let's get on with that. Right, now we've taken off the seat rails, we've unclipped this piece to take the centerpiece off. Then we're going to remove this piece just by pulling on it and push it up, and up here there's 3 hooks. They just need pushing up and they unhook. Okay, now the next thing to do is pull out the trim from all of these little tabs. They just pull that way and lift up and it'll just release then. Okay, once we've got this far, we now have to remove some hog rings. So under these 3 little slots, on these 3 bars, there is a hog ring holding the trim to the sponge. They need removing. We are going to remove them with snips, and we're going to replace them with zip ties. It doesn't really matter how they go back on, just because it's awkward to get the hog ring tool in there. So zip ties for the win again. Let's remove those. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is that these 3 slots that we took the hog rings out of. We're going to mark those on here, and you can slice through there so we can get the pad back through and tie it back in where we took it out from. So we're going to mark that, and we're going to cut it, and then we shall install the pad. Okay, now what we do is with the silver strips, the silver stuff that we got in the kit, cut it into handy little strips, and what we're doing next is we're tucking it underneath each cut, which just happens to be about the right length as well, right width. We're tucking it underneath each cut, folding it back on itself like that, and then rolling it down so that it sticks. And these bits here, these little black dots, these are conductive. So we've got some adhesive foam, adhesive tape that will stop that from shorting out. So let's do that now. So that's the completed article then. What we've used is zip ties just to hold the pad onto the leather. So that's cool. Now the installation is the reverse, so they hook in, pull it down, that pokes through the back, slides on, and this wire is going to go down that way, possibly out one of these ways anyway, and we will take care of that later. Next up is the seat base. So in order to do that, first and foremost, there is one Phillips screw just there. There are two white clips just there, and there's two screws in the side just here. Okay? Technically speaking, once you've undone those, the base should just fall away. But we're going to snip all the tie wraps that's holding things on anyway, just in case it doesn't. Once these are undone, that gets pushed down and pulled away, and that should be it. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so the next bit then is removing the hog rings from the bottom. They are attached at these 3 points. See the little white clips there? Very similar to the backrest. Basically remove that bit of tape, snip them, pull it off, and again we're going to use zip ties to replace them. So let's do that. So this is the underside of the seat now. Okay, so we have a number of different connectors. We have a brown and red wire there. These are the positive and negative for the motorized back, which is this one on this switch here. We also have these two pins in here. That goes to the seatbelt anchor, this wire just here, and that tells the system that everything is in. You're sat in the seatbelt. You sat in the seat, and the seatbelt is plugged in, so it stops the chime from going off when you drive away. We also have these two wires here, and these two wires here. These are for the seat and back pads respectively. So what we're going to do is snip these four and these two, and we're going to connect them into a Deutsch connector. So for those that don't know what a Deutsch connector is, it is a connector that it's waterproof and it's idiot proof. So it goes in one way, it comes out one way, and it prevents the ingress of dirt, moisture, things like that. So ideal for these circumstances. So I'm going to put either the male or female on this side, doesn't really matter which, to be honest, and then do the same for the other side of the car. And I'm also going to use an auxiliary fuse box, because the heated seats plus the motorized back and things like that, that will take approximately 12-13 amps, something like that. So what I'd like to do is run them through their own fuse. So they will have a fuse, because that and that are going to be connected together because they've got a high and low switch. That will have a fuse. This doesn't need a fuse because the power comes from the car side, which is fine. And then that should do it. So let's have a look at the auxiliary fuse box that I've got, and let's talk about different ideas of how to install it. So this is the auxiliary fuse box that I've got. We can take the cover off. Okay, it has a positive and a negative on it, obviously, because it's a 12 volt circuit, 12 volt DC. So the idea is that it's going to come from the battery here, back to chassis here. This is a negative bus bar, and essentially what we're doing is we're putting fuses in these slots of whatever size it is that we need. I worked it out at 10 amps for the motor for the seat and 15 amps for each heated seat element. So that will be passenger side, that will be driver's side, so 4 are already taken up already, and these are the positive tap offs, so it comes in through the fuse, out there. What we'll do then is we'll pop the fuses in, bolt this into position. I don't quite know where I'm going to put it just yet. I'll work that out in a second. But that will be for everything that I need to do electrically wise. I've got 2 spare slots then that I can use in the future for a lighting circuit or something, whatever. And this is the wire that I'm going to use. This used to power an old subwoofer of mine, back in the day. It's got inline a 30 amp fuse already, which should be sufficient, and it is of approximately 8 to 10 gauge, so plenty thick enough to provide the power that we need for that. Yeah, so I'm going to cut a little piece of this off, cover it in black heat shrink. That will provide me with the negative that I need for the chassis earth. That goes straight to the battery because it's got an inline fuse real close, within the first foot or so. And then this end will go to the power supply input on the fuse box and power the fuses. The pre-made wiring loom that came with the heated seats isn't really worth a damn because of the way that I want to route it. So because I want to route it somewhere different, I have to use a setup like this. So yeah, let's go and have a start on that. So that's the seat wired. It's not pretty, I've not tidied it up yet. There is still a little bit of tension on some of these cables, but that's fine, I will sort that later on. But as you can see, all 8 have gone in the back through the waterproof gasket and are sitting flush. So happy with that. Let's go and do the car side now. Okay, so what we've done here then is we have wired up the Deutsch connector. It's an 8-pin Deutsch connector. As you can see, the pins are in there. I've not yet put the little separating piece in the middle. I'll do that in a second. But there's 8 pins in there, and they're all in the correct order. So I made a mark there for pin 1, and pin 1 is the positive for driver's seat motor supply. And then I've basically gone supply, negative, supply, negative, supply, negative, so on and so forth. These last 2 here, I've actually taken this set of cable off the original seat and it plugs into the seatbelt warning for the original harness. Same for the airbag. I've used the original airbag plug and we have a resistor in there as well. I've just taped it up because there's a lot of cable that will be flopping around otherwise, and that makes this completely reversible should I decide to do so, which I probably won't, but that's not the point. So we've got all the cables run. It's gone all the way up and over the dash down into an auxiliary fuse box behind the glove box, and everything is all fused and ready. I've tested continuity. Now I just need to install the seat. And speaking of seats, what I'm going to do is remove the original seat rails from the seat base, because I'm going to put these onto the Porsche seat. And the way I'm going to do that is there are 4 nuts like that, 1 in each corner. I think there's 6 actually, 2 in the bottom, 1 in the top, same both sides. I'm going to remove those and I'm going to use those on the new seat. Now what I'm going to do to make those fit is this needs cutting off. This little lip here needs cutting off. This hole needs slicing here and here to make that a U-shaped channel. Same for this one. And another hole needs drilling around here somewhere. And then of course, same on both sides. That will be done. And then we can bolt those straight on using the original hardware. So let's get on with making the modifications. Okay, so this is modified then. It will accept everything that we need. We have cut this into a U-shaped channel because that gives us some flexibility when moving the seat. And we've got rid of these bits here, this little lip. That was in the way, it wouldn't let the seat rail sit flush. We've done that on both sides. I've drilled a hole down in here. Now, like an idiot, I've got the hole in the wrong place. I've had to drill it slightly bigger than it should be, but that's nothing a washer can't fix. And on this side, all it requires is just a U channel here. So we've got one in there, one in there, one in there, and then one in there, one in there, one in there. So let's fit the seat rails. That's the seat now complete. Both rails are in, the adjuster is in, and locating pins are in the right place. Let's go bolt it in, plug it in. So here we are then, the seats are in, and don't they look good? I like that. I have kept the old back seats, but to be honest, they never get used, so I don't care. So what we're going to do now is turn the key, so that will leave us to ignition 2. Does the seat move? Yes, it does indeed. Happy with that. The next thing that we're going to do is have a look at the heated seat. So I'll just move that out the way for now. No, I won't, never mind. We can see the LED from there, can we? Let's have a look. There we go. Okay, so yes, happy with that. So the heated seats work. I will check back with you in the outro just to make sure that they do actually get hot. But yes, happy with that. I think this looks absolutely amazing. I am more than impressed with how this works. So we've got the leather seats, we've got the leather centre console, we've got the leather steering wheel. Things are coming together and I like it. Just before we get to the outro, I can confirm that these seats are on and I've got a hot arse. Apologies, that was a long video, but that was worth it. My rationale behind that was, if you can fit seats from a different car that aren't supposed to go in there, you can run your own cables. So I didn't bother showing that, just to keep the video as short as possible, and we're still over 40 minutes. So if you've gotten this far, fantastic. Thank you very much. You obviously like what I'm doing. If that's the case, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual YouTube goodness. Go and visit all my sponsors. They are scrolling along the screen now as we speak. Well, yeah, I think that is a cool upgrade. The Porsche seats weren't heated to begin with, so we've had to install a heated seat pad on both seats. I actually did a neater job on the passenger seat, to be honest, with the wiring and the install and everything. It's just, by that point, I'd already had practice doing the driver's seat. I wish I could show you that one, actually. It's really good. It's a really comfortable upgrade. The height is adjustable, the backrest is electrically adjustable, the seats are heated, it's got all the relevant relays and things like that to provide the high current to the heater pads, and I can confirm those pads get hot, really hot, which is a really good thing if you've got back problems like me. But yeah, I really like that. That is a damn fine upgrade. I am not bothered by the rear seats at all. In fact, I'm this close to being tempted to remove them completely because I don't need them. Don't have any kids, don't have any passengers. Why do I need rear seats? I took this round a track at Three Sisters in Wigan, and there's a video to that also in the description as well. I'll put a card up here somewhere as well. And the seats performed admirably on track. Absolutely brilliant, just what I was looking for. It's because they came out of a sports car, a little two-seat sports car, Porsche Boxster. They hug you better than the original seats do. The bolstering's much more supportive, and they're just much more comfortable. So, yeah, I think it's a great upgrade for me. And especially the fact that we got to use the original rails as well, so we didn't have any hardware issues, any subframe issues or anything like that. Yeah, I think that's a definite upgrade. So go find yourself some Porsche seats and learn a bit of electronics and some basic metalwork skills. You'll do well. So to that end then, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell the algorithm that you like what I'm doing, and share it with as many people as you can. I hope this has inspired you to put your own seats in, and if you do, make sure you tag me on Instagram at DadDIY and just show me what you've done, because there's various different shapes, sizes and colours of seats and things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be out of a Boxster. It could be out of anything that you think. As long as you think it'll fit and you measure it, it's fine. Yeah, so you know what to do. Remember to ring that bell, get notified next time I drop a video, and I'll see you then.